via. Now version 3 is going to start. I'm not the moderator, who would be Anton Amado from gvSIG, and he didn't have gvSIG road, and probably this is the reason why he couldn't arrive on time. So now we're going to have José Vicente Igon, who is going to speak about the implementation of an ID in a great corporation. The objective of this presentation is to show you the experience that we had in a great corporation. We are going to focus on key issues, and we'll see if we have to do that in other circumstances. We have a key issue, which is the study of the organization, the need to create a framework web. In the previous lectures, it was already advanced that in the corporations we cannot have a heterogeneity of applications because it's very difficult to maintain, it's not efficient, and then and the trend is to create a single framework as a basis for all the technology. We were also speaking about the need to link existing information with the new paradigm of spatial information. We will need architectures which have the adequate yield so they can connect to a system. We'll talk about how we have been using gvSIG in this project, and we'll have a clear idea, which is not reinventing the wheel, and see how can we do that for other specific issues, and how the transfer of knowledge is specifically important in this project, as we have to create an infrastructure that has to be maintained along the time. This experience that we are going to tell you about has been developed in the PDVSA and has more than 100,000 workers. It's one of the most important companies existing in the world, and the problem is very similar to the spatial data infrastructures which was mentioned with the Clinton order, which is very important to promote the use of spatial information, and that this spatial information is available to the different bodies in order to improve the sustainability of developments and so on. So this is the same problem that happens in a great corporation, as it is the case for PDVSA. They have different aspects. They have mining, so it's a country within a country, and they have the same problems. The solution, which is approach in a typical problem where we want to exploit geographical information and solve the problem of interoperability among the different organizations generating that information, is the use of the infrastructures of spatial data. And this is open software, an open software solution. Not only doing a beautiful software, having the first technician in the walls, they will guarantee that you will have the best project, especially when the size of the data to be used, all the stakeholders, all the problems. Well, even if you have a very good technical project, they can make it fail. So the first thing was the first thing we did was the study of the organization from a perspective. We have tools, we have studies, and we have disciplines in order to make a more productive solution, and especially when we are going to have a new information which is going to a little bit affect the basis of that organization. So this is a value proposal where we are capturing value with the applications, with the system, with the development of the project, and this value is given to the customers. This is a typical case that involves a study of the business model. The business model generates and provides value. So a business model study was done in order to know how this value is generated, who are the customers, the suppliers, the communication, the key actors, which is who are going to generate more risk, and so on and so forth. And the only objective is the success of the project, where we know that this is not going the only factor that is going to guarantee our success. We had to assess the process of change, because that's going to involve a change, and you have to manage change. We have other tools, other ways to assess which is going to be the impact and how to minimize the risk for this impact. In addition to this, we were speaking about creating an infrastructure of spatial data nodes, which are going to provide spatial information. We'll be able to manage knowledge. The existing knowledge will have to be materialized, because the most important active in this organization is knowledge, is knowing where there is oil and extracting it. So it's not that they manufacture Coca-Cola cans. They have to find where the oil is in order to perform their activities. And this is a model of company which is a collaborative company model. And as the model that is now innovating, that is really matching the requirements we had there. And in order to guarantee the training of we have to generate metrics in order to redraw the project. We also have other tools, for instance, and here we have the balance scorecard, which is fed with data coming from the application. Then quantity of new nodes which are being generated, incidences related to the information, new data, all those variables which can be measurable, they are put in a scorecard so that we have alerts whenever we have a deviation with regards to the aims of the project. So the question is that we can rechannel that and redirect this so that the project is as successful. And when we are focusing the technical issue, then we have a great organization. We'll have a large quantity of users which have many different requirements, but we'll be speaking with people from cadasters, people, highly technicians of satellite image, and their disciplines are diverse, their backgrounds are diverse, and they only have one thing in common, which is the use of spatial information, but they were not able to use and share this spatial information, and that's what we are doing. So we asked ourselves how can we do this so that there is a single platform in which spatial information is generated and is managed in a single way. So we needed a platform in order to provide the solutions to different users without having to do 40 geoportals or 40 different applications in order to minimize cost, in order to minimize risks, and so on. And we are developing here a framework for the management of spatial information. Very important is that in the 21st century these are mobile devices, and the web. Every day we realize that the user, due to mobility and how technology is advancing, doesn't want to have this specific issue. They will want to have an access through website and access using new technologies. So that's why we were creating this framework web. After, if we have time, I'll show you in a couple of minutes how this is done, so that the presentation is not so dry. And another issue that has to be considered when we are speaking about spatial information, then we should know that there is a great part of elements information which is in databases, and you have to connect the existing information with the spatial information if you want to add value to the analysis that you are doing. Because the thing is that we will not only have the polygon that represents the protection area or the rural protection area, but we'll have alphanumerical information that belongs to the cadastres, and that has to be linked to the new environment polygons, and then that's going to provide me with information saying that we have to inform these people in due time, because they have some plans. So the spatial information is exploiting now, and one important thing is to link that information in the spatial database. We use Portis, and we found many Oracle things. So we have a wrapper that allows us to remotely connect this Oracle, and then we do the necessary work in order to compose this product, which is the result of alphanumeric information with spatial information. In the organization, then we'll have for users, we'll have many users. Sometimes we'll have 20,000 users, which is a big. Others will have 4,000, 5,000. So then we need a platform that can support such a workload, and we have to create a cluster that has high availability, that has load balancing, and we can generate this in such a way that is scalable, that if we have additional users demand, we only have to add hardware resources, and we can respond to the demands of the users. Here the technology, this is a multi-layer architecture where we have customers load balancing, and here we have a map server, we have a CMS, we have map proxy. That means the typical applications in open source in order to provide services for spatial data. We have a PostSQL and a middleware which is pgpool in order to respond to this load balancing. So what is gvSIG doing here? gvSIG is a platform which is now mature and is going to save a lot of time, effort, and work and money, of course, when providing a solution, for instance, in order to generate the contents of a spatial data infrastructure as the PVD they had already a structure. We used gvSIG and we created that module in order to generate these contents in the spatial data infrastructure. We also were doing a centralization of data in the spatial database, and we had some specific applications we had to do the development in order to read the formats of seismic navigation and structural map. And so we were creating maps. The origin project was coming from the management of geodesy, where they need to generate maps, and they wanted to have an alternative to the map generation that is done with other conventional tools. Finally, another very important use is that the idea of this project, the requirement of this project is that creates a structure of spatial data, and we are going to provide them the basis so that they are able to continue with the project, and that allows the project to evolve. What does this mean? That we need to transfer knowledge so that they are able to do the maintenance of the project. Of course, we will be available for any type of support or requirements that they need, but our work was to implement spatial data so that they are able to maintain it along the time. And there are multidisciplinary groups, environment, cadastre, and they have their own needs, but in the end they use this unique spatial information, so we have to handle carefully the workflows and being able to generate a solution in which different groups are going to work with the same application. And then we have to generate work groups and all these dynamics of work that in which we will have the help of the applications, but that will allow everyone to have his or her own way of working. Here we had to tackle another thing. They call that putting the system into production. That's very complex. There is a lot of people, and when you go with a smaller application, you explain how to install that to the specific group, and that's all. But here you have to install database and how the users are going to work. So there is a lot of people, a lot of stakeholders involved, and you should tell them which is the responsibility of each one of them in order to generate the product that we want. We also use the creation of a knowledge base in order to materialize the knowledge of the work that has been done. Since the day we arrived, we put a tool in order to manage the tasks, the activity, and that in a way there is a material, I think a wiki or a project management tool.
I think I'm doing fine with time. Am I not? Yeah, you must finish now. I wanted to show you something else, if I may. Short video, it's just a 2-minute video. Can I? For you to see the what it looks like. It's an example of the free world web. Right, a user gets on it, asks for validation, And then the applications are displayed. So based on your authorizations, you may have different applications. But the framework is the same, the interface is the same. What are the differences? Well, each application has its own tools, maps, cases, and functionalities. For example, I'm going to show you a very, very easy case with this little map with all the spatial data. It's got basic tools for a map catalog, and you can add a save file and share it later. Or for more specific things, you can generate charts, graphs, reports, and those who have access to such things will be able to gain access to the application and have the available tools. This is another example. Here you had to upload a save file and then create an infrastructure with spatial data, which is challenging because all the information generated which belongs to the users obviously needs to be transferred by means of channels. These communication channels need to be established between users, and well, in this case, a particular symbology is allocated. You have a table with attributes, and the user saves the project and saves it with another person. And then the other user can see the information. This was one of the requirements, which is very important in my opinion. Here we see a functionality, the change in the symbology. Well, that's it, because there's only a minute left. But yeah, you see the urban areas, and as I was saying, you save the project with a name and then you share it for another person to have it from the same geoportal and see the data. The user's name is Ruth, but I'm going to close the session. I'm going to enter the site with another username who, as you will see, has less tools. Ruth has 6 or 7 tools. This other user has 4. Once the application is loaded, you open the tool handler. So each user generates its own node of geospatial infrastructure. The underlying technology is for all these users to generate their own data and use resources, and you see the project. And well, you can see the attributes table, you can filter things out. And that's it really for my experience in creating this type of infrastructure. Thank you. Are there any questions?